Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am reading editorial page of Indian Express. So let's begin. Alaska shift. There is a topic mentioned about Alaska shift, the recent meeting of United States of America and Russia. It means between President Donald Trump and President Vladimir Putin. So progress was made in Trump-Putin summit, even as sticking points remain. There are mixed signals on secondary tariffs. US President Donald Trump's decisions to align with Russian President Vladimir Putin's approach to peace in Ukraine at the Alaska summit has provoked sharp criticism in Europe and at home. Yet this reaction may be missing the essence of what President is trying to do, what Trump is trying to do. He has long been indifferent to the censure of mainstream press and foreign policy establishment that labels him soft on Putin. Trump has endured that line of attack for a decade, including attempts to remove him from White House during his first term. Across three presidential campaigns in 2016, 2020, and 2024, Trump has consistently reaffirmed his conviction that the United States needs better relations with Russia. In his latest campaign, he promised a quick end to the war in Ukraine. The Alaska summit was the culmination of that commitment. By moving beyond the narrow objective of a ceasefire and pressing for a peace agreement, Trump has signaled recognition of battlefield realities rather than differences to Putin. Speaking to a Speaking to a television channel after the summit, Trump bluntly stated that Ukraine has little chance of defeating Russia, a far large power. Both leaders spoke of considerable progress in Alaska. The main sticking point, however, remains the issue of territorial concession. Putin is pressing for Ukraine to cede parts of the Donbas still under its control in returning for Russia freezing the rest of the front line. For Kiev, this is a better pill to swallow. Trump has said he will urge Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky due at the White House on Monday to accept concession exchange for the benefits of peace. Europe, briefed by Trump after the summit, has not outrightly rejected the idea of territorial compromise, but European leaders insist on robust security guarantees for Ukraine and the preservation of its freedom to choose its security partners. The reality, however, is stark. Neither Ukraine nor Europe holds a veto over US policy. Should Trump decide to disengage from Ukraine, a move that would resonate strongly with his anti-war mega base, Kiev resistance would collapse quickly. Europe, for its parts, lacks the capacity to replace Washington as Ukraine security guarantor. This imbalance creates the this imbalance creates space for Trump's peace diplomacy in the upcoming weeks. Flexibility in Kiev and Brussels could open the door for a second Trump Putin summit to formalize new arrangements for Ukraine. But entrenched resistance to compromise across the Atlantic redre- could still derail the process. India, for its parts, welcomed the progress at Alaska, a thaw in US-Russia relations tended to widen India's geopolitical space. Yet Delhi faces an immediate challenge. Trump's threat to secondary tariff on Indian purchases of Russian oil. These tariffs, set to take effect on August 27, could impose a crippling 50% duty on Indian exports to the US, its most important trading partner. At the summit's close, Trump sent mixed signals by saying he would decide on the tariffs in a couple weeks once the Ukrainian situation becomes clearer. For India, the moment demands depth diplomacy abroad and a credible economic plan at home to cope with the potential shock of punitive tariffs. The upgrade. By raising India's rating, S&P affirms optimism about growth. Government must adhere to the path of fiscal consolidation. Last week, S&P Global Ratings raised India's long-term sovereign credit rating from BBB to BBB. A BBB rating, which is at the lower end of the investment grade rung, indicates adequate capacity to repay obligations. S&P's rationale for the upgrade rests on the pillar of buoyant growth, the commitment to fiscal consolidation, improved quality of spending, and anchored infl- inflationary expectations. Coming at a coming at a time of acute economic uncertainty, the ratings action, this is the first upgrade by the agency in 18 years, reaffirms India's growth prospects, underlines its resilience and its remarkable recovery from the pandemic. S&P has projected the India's economy to grow from around $3.9 trillion in 2024 to about $5.5 trillion by 2028, with growth averaging roughly 6.8% over the next few years. This is marginally higher than other assessments, such as by the IMF. In its April World Economic Outlook, the fund had pegged the economy to grow at around 6.3% over this period. The rating agency is strikingly less pessimistic about the impact of Trump's tariff on the Indian economy, expecting it to be manageable and not pose a material drag on growth. This is based on its view that India is relatively less reliant on trade. Exports to US are roughly 2% of GDP and more on domestic consumption. There is a cautionary note here. This assessment is at odds with views expressed by several analysts who believe that not only will there be a direct impact of high tariffs, but will be there will also be an indirect impact which could reflect in the form of lower investment flows to the country. The government debt deficit dynamics is another area of improvement flagged by the rating agency. Governments, general government debt, center and states put together, had surged during the pandemic. However, governments have stayed on the path of consolidation, bringing down their deficits and debts. The ratings agency expects the general government deficit to fall from 7.3% of GDP in 2025 to 26 to 6.6% by 2028-29. Alongside, it projects the debt to GDP ratio to decline from 83% in fiscal year 2025 to 78% by fiscal 2029, bringing it closer to its pre-pandemic level. While progress has been faster than what was envisaged by the Finance Commission, the path of consolidation must continue to be adhered to. S&P has, in fact, cautioned about not doing so, saying that we may lower the ratings if we observe an erosion of political commitment to consolidate public finances. So, thank you so much.